Good morning. Thank you so much for the presentation. This presentation is organized in three parts, and I'm going to do this briefly about UNE and normalization in order to present the prospective study that it was done by UNE regarding the waste biomass, and I'm going to finish with analysis of the new opportunities of normalization in this scope. UNE is the Spanish Association of Normalization. This is a legal entity designed as a national organism of normalization, and we are representative of national organisms and international also of normalization. And in this case, the most relevant ones are CEN at the European level and ISO at international level. Our main activity is the normalization to create norms, technical norms, and we have more than 37,000 technical norms that are being developed in the technical committees, and there are different kind of committees for different areas, and are included also the biofuels. Briefly, also for the ones who are not familiar with the normalization or standardization, I want to say the relevance of this standardization. The technical norms are giving a great support to legislation and to public policies. And nowadays, we have more than 9,600 norms that are quoted in the legislation. So the new laws are supported on the technical laws that to be some requirements to be complied with of the legislation, and also to contribute to the surveillance of market, because many of these market they are criteria for quality and security of products and services. It's also important as how they contribute to innovation. UNE also participate directly with more than 100 projects of R&D and is creating and settling the basis and to standardize new technologies in order to be part of the market, to define these criteria, these requirements from the beginning of new technologies. It is very important the normalization, the technical norms that they are promoting, the commerce, the trading, because the one that is creating the norm is defining the market as well, because more than 90% of the world trading is affected by the technical norms. National UNE and ISO at international level and European levels also based on UNE, but also is improving the competitiveness, the competitiveness, and the game is a game changer because it's defining a different criteria to enable new technologies, operational technologies, and also the compliance of different agents in the value chain. Just briefly, one screen, just to talk about the difference between different concepts of normalization and certification. Because in the first part, we have the normalization, that is the definition of the requirements. This is an example in this sector. The UNE norm 17,225 is defining the requirements and specifications of these solid biofuels. And in this part of the norm development is where UNE is participating. And this is the part that we are intervening, and also the certification process. This process is verifying that these requirements that were defined in the norms, they are complied with the specific product for a specific entity. In this way, once all these requirements are verified, we can get these certifications, and all this process of certification are done by certifying companies, and these are independent processes. Now, talking about the waste biomass, I want to show the prospective studio UNE. This is the first out of all the studios done by UNE and they are going to appear one by one. And this is focused on the leverage in biodegradable waste, and mainly in the agri-food sector. But this could be also used in all the kind of waste from other origins. And this studio is available in UNE website, and you could download it in order to know all the details of this study. And the main goal is that through these studies, we could facilitate the implementation of the new technologies in the industry by exploring how the norms, the creation of new norms, could act as a leverage to be introduced in the market new products and new processes. And as I was talking about before, this is focused mainly on the transformation of the biodegradable waste in new compounds and processes of high value added, and it can be used for many kind of end uses as materials or different industries of how high value added products, as in different industries in pharmaceutical, agrochemical, chemical, cosmetic, food, and it could be applied in many other ways. And at European level, it is being promoted investigation in this material, and also at the national international level it is being promoted in a lot of research in order to create new technologies that are raising in this scope. We have seen from UNE view, because we are participating in more than 100 investigation research projects, mainly European. We have a lot of faith in this topic, because it's true that there is there is no defined norms for these kind of applications uses. What can we find in this prospective study that it was done by UNE mainly for this topic? First, the context of the circular bioeconomy in the agri-food sector at the national and European level. Also, legislative framework, and this is mainly the Law 7/2022 of contaminated ground and waste, and the waste that is being used of biomass used for different applications, and also the concept of a bioproduct that is introduced by this law. And also, we are collecting in this studio the framework of normalization. We're talking about the different norms that are currently that are active, and at the national and European international level that is applying to this field, that is applying to the biomass transformation processes, and also to the norms that are applying to different end products, or also to the origin waste biomass. Also, normalization committees that are working with these aspects. It's true that based on the origin of this waste material is wide and varied, as I was telling you before. The end source or the receptors of these products that are coming from this biomass are varying. I'd apply a lot of vertical committees. But there is not a specific committee of normalization that is actually dedicated, or international or European or national level, to create these norms or to standardize these new criteria for these new applications of technologies. In this studio, we also collect the context of R&D in the sector. As I was telling you, there is a great push because we are moving towards bioeconomy at the European level, and we're talking about the programs that are working for investment of public investment, private investment for this sector or field. And we are also introducing new projects related to this topic in which we're participating in as UNE. by defining new norms for these new applications. And finally, while we were talking this studio, we are trying to analyze what are the opportunities or the necessities to create new norms in this field so they could act as a leverage in order to produce a new entry in the market with these new technologies, new products. It has been organized in a work session with the sector, and based on all this study, we established some conclusions. The work session that we had, different entities and companies were participating, and also technological centers that they are part of these technologies. They're using these new technologies to transform biomass in different products of high added value. We also had the participation of the association, technical association uh, at the GRUS for environment and waste management, and also the Biocircularity Innovation and Technology in Spain, and also the Ministry of the Environment and Demographic Challenge, because they have a lot to say about this issue, and they have a lot to give in regarding the implication of all these legislation and government processing and procedures when it's about the transformation from the waste biomass to the end product that has to go through certain authorizations. Well, not authorizations, but it's about the waste condition in order to be able to market this product. Among the conclusions of this study in this session that took place, actually the technical normalization or the creation of new legislation, new laws, these must be based or motivated by the necessities of the sector, mainly about the new applications of biomass. And they were identified the creation and the consolidation of the circular economy, and also the organization of the offer, and very important, the specific requirements of specification of this as the biomass of origin, and also as the end product, so end material that is going to be used in other applications or industries. And also the most relevant, or the most important one, as the conclusion of this study, is that it's very relevant to remove barriers and implement tools in order to make this processing speed up, as we were talking about before, because there are a lot of complications, bureaucratic complications, in order to authorize these processes, in order to take this product to the market and be able to market it from the biomass of a waste across the technological transformations, and we obtain different components of high added value that is arriving to the market. As an example, within the criteria that has to be defined in order to authorize the commercialization or the end of waste condition of this waste biomass, we need to define different criteria that were established in the in legislation 7 2022, and this is an example, and we value it as a clear opportunity to develop new norms in all these points, as the norms for defining what the authorized waste are is for these valorization processes, and also what are the processing and techniques for treatment allowed in each case. Also, the quality criteria for the valorization processes and the transformation of this material. We need quality criteria to know if this product is acceptable or not, and also requirements for management systems in order to corroborate the waste condition. In all these cases, finally, as happens in many other legislations, the technical norms that are not regulations but norms that are volunteering norms, but once it is implied in legislation, it supports legislation. So this will be a way to produce these norms by defining these prerequisites, requirements, to create comfort in the governments in order to speed up these processes, to get in the market and get authorizations from the marketing of these products, the trading. I would like to finish by saying that any entity interested in this could participate in any committee of normalization, technical normalization. And any entity could also promote and take the initiative to create new norms and new requirements, new standards to define the products and services and processes, and to define also and facilitate the market. And that's it. Thank you so much. I had a last screen that didn't appear, but I just wanted to remind you that we have a webinar organized by Atticruz about this topic on May 20th. And if you are interested, you could just get in the Atticruz website where it's announced, and there's going to be a roundtable in which we have Prefero, Urbacer, CECIC, and GARD for the debate table in order to talk about the necessities and the new norms in this way. So thank you so much for your attention.